Hey guys, it's Phoebe. Happy New Year. I hope you're all enjoying the first day of the new decade, 2020. And thank you so much for all your kind Happy New Year wishes. Thank you so much. You're all just amazing. So it's a new year and we are moving on. And I thought I would just tell you like a second part of my favourite podcast series. Sorry, that doesn't make sense, does it? I thought I would continue the second part of my favourite podcast series. And I think I've kind of done it a little bit the wrong way round, because I started off with Wrongful Convictions with Jason FLOM, and I can't recommend that podcast highly enough. It really is very, very good. And but I've kind of done it the wrong way round, because I should have started with the podcast that got me into true crime podcasts. Do you know, up until I listened to this one, I didn't even know there was such thing as podcasts. I must have lived a very sheltered life, but I didn't really know what a podcast was. And then, of course, enjoying true crime, or being a true crime junkie, as I consider myself, I then heard about Serial. So season 1 of Serial was first released on the 10th of December, way back in 2015, so like 4 years ago now, I guess. And it's all about the true story of the disappearance back in 1999 of high school senior Hae Min Lee. Hae Min Lee lived in Baltimore, and yeah, as I say, she first disappeared in 1999. Sadly, her case did ultimately turn into a homicide investigation. And subsequently, her ex-boyfriend Adnan Syed was arrested, charged and convicted of her murder. He is now in prison and states that he is innocent. He has proclaimed his innocence, you know, since day one. So the podcast is absolutely fascinating. I think it probably launched the majority of true crime podcasts, and it's hosted by Sarah Koenig, and she speaks to Adnan Syed on the telephone. She's recorded their conversations, which you can listen to throughout the podcast. Now, this podcast has been downloaded 175 million times. That's just season 1. I think there are 3 or 4 seasons, definitely 3. But season 1 alone, about Adnan Syed and Hae Min Lee, has been downloaded 175 million times. Imagine, such a huge number. Anyway, I can highly recommend it. If you haven't listened to Serial, it's very engaging. Sarah Koenig she's a journalist by trade, and she is quite fascinating really in herself. She's brilliant. She really is. And there's 12 episodes altogether, and you can binge listen if you want to, but it is absolutely brilliant. And if you don't listen to true crime podcasts, maybe if you listen to Serial, you might get hooked like I did. So I highly recommend Serial. So another podcast I listen to is called Real Crime Profile, which is hosted by Jim Clemente, Laura Richards and Lisa Zambetti. So Jim Clemente, I'm sure lots of you will have heard of him. He's a former New York state prosecutor, an FBI SSA, which I believe is supervisory special agent. He worked as a criminal profiler, and he is now a writer and producer for the TV show Criminal Minds. He's also written 2 books called Without Consent and another one called Evil Had a Name. Another host is a criminal behavioural analyst, Laura Richards, who is British, and she is a renowned international expert on domestic violence, homicide, stalking, sexual violence. She's got a BSc in psychology and sociology and a master's in forensic and legal psychology, so she's very, very well versed in the legal field. She's also the former head of the Homicide Prevention Unit at New Scotland Yard, and she also trained with the FBI Behavioural Analysis Units. Lisa Zambetti is the third host, and she is the casting director for the TV show Criminal Minds, so she is a colleague of Jim Clemente. Shows that they have covered in their podcast recently include Madeleine McCann, and they've recently covered the Jeffrey Epstein case. They've done a deep dive into some of the Netflix shows, for example Mindhunter, as well as The Keepers, and also the Michael Jackson documentary Leaving Neverland, where they've analysed the documentary, which was based, as I'm sure you know, on the information that was provided by Wade Robson and Jimmy Safechuck. They also did another really interesting case. It was a British case, not very well known, but it's about a young lady called Alice Ruggles, who's a British lady who was stalked and murdered by her ex-boyfriend. The team interviewed Alice's dad, Clive Ruggles, and it is a truly, truly horrifying case. Basically, Alice, who was 24, had ended her relationship with her boyfriend, who was called Treman Dillon, but he preferred to be called Harry, and she had contacted the police several times because he was so jealous and he was basically stalking her. He was 26 and he managed to break into Alice's flat, who she shared with a friend, and he stabbed her in the shower. Again, I'm not going to go into all the gory details. So Harry, who was 26 at the time, was sentenced to at least 22 years in prison. And when sentenced, the judge, who was called Judge Sloane, said, "Not a shred of remorse have you shown from the first to last. Indeed, you were concentrating so hard on getting your story right when giving your evidence, you forgot even to shed a crocodile tear." Now, this Dillon bloke, who was actually a serving soldier, bombarded Alice with text messages and phone calls. He left her unwanted gifts on her doorstep, contacted her friends and family, and threatened to kill himself, all sorts of things. And as I say, that she had reported all this to the police before he finally killed her. And in my opinion, the police sadly let her down big time. Okay, guys, I'm going to leave it there. I will do a third little mini episode. I hope you're finding this interesting. Just some recommendations, really, things that I like listening to. And yeah. Oh, Real Crime Profile just did a recent review on the Netflix drama or Netflix documentary called Don't Fuck with the Cats. It's about Luca Magnotta, and all about the internet sleuths that tracked him down online. Sadly, it didn't prevent him from killing somebody, but it's absolutely fascinating. My son recommended it to me. He's like, Mum, you've got to watch it. It's you all over. You and your YouTube friends, your internet sleuths. So it was, yeah, highly recommended. If you have access to Netflix, don't F with the cats. Highly recommended. I shall say goodbye for now. Thank you again for sharing your time with me. I really appreciate it. I know I say that every time, but I really, really do. Without you guys, I wouldn't have a channel. I refer to this as our channel, not my channel, because although I'm the messenger, I upload the videos, but without your engagement, I wouldn't be here. So I really, really do appreciate each and every single view, each and every comment. I really do appreciate it much, much more than I think any of you will realise. So take good care. I shall speak to you again very, very soon. Bye bye.